I've got a flower here with me today. Ready to revise reproduction in flowering plants? Let's go! Let's start with the life cycle of a plant, and we all know that flowering plants, we have the seed, the seedling, and the mature plants. And the mature plants, definitely we will see flowers. And flowers are the one that contains the reproductive parts. Here we have a flower with both the female and male parts. The female part, this is actually the stigma, right? You can see that it's actually quite yellowish, and in fact it's very sticky. The pollen grains are actually all sticking onto the stigma itself. And this long thing here in the middle, which is rather thick, is the style. So I always tell the children, the flower has style. So the style here, all right, connects actually right to the bottom here, which is actually where the ovary and the ovules are found. Now here we have a number of anthers which are already mature. You can see that they are opened, and the pollen grains are all dotting the anthers here. Okay, the anthers are actually releasing the pollen grains. In fact, you can see that my hands are all like, yellow because of the pollen grains, the table as well. And this thin tube here that holds the anthers are known as the filament. You can see that this flower, the petals are very brightly colored and rather big. And the anthers and the stigma, they're actually within the flower itself. Okay, they're actually shorter than the petals, so they're within the flower. So this tells me that this flower is likely to be animal pollinated. What happens is when an insect visits this flower, right, the insect's body will brush against the anthers, and the pollen grains will stick onto the insect's fur. So when the insect goes deep down to feed on the nectar, goes deep down, you can imagine, all right, the animal's body will rub against the the anther several times, and the pollen grain will stick onto the fur. So when the insect flies to another flower and visit the other flower, all right, what happens is these pollen grains will actually get stuck onto the stigma. To help us to remember the reproductive parts in the flower, there is a very easy way to remember, and that is known as so-so. So-so, stigma, ovary, style, ovules. Those are for the female reproductive parts. And we have fa, filament, and anthers. That is for the male reproductive parts. If you put them together, you will have so-fa. So always use the so-fa to help you to recall the reproductive parts in a flower.